Good morning, precious people. Here we are together. It's another fresh day. I'm so thankful for your irreplaceable light. And I'm going to be talking about light today. And how your experience and wisdom is so unique in this world. Today's a gift filled with possibilities. So let's open this gift with kindness and curiosity. And remember, we're still growing and learning. So grab your nearest drink and let's check in with each other. Here, I'll cheers you. Cheers. I think I put too much creamer in my coffee. It's too sweet. It's okay. I like sweet sometimes, but I don't know. Today was just too much. Drink your water. Okay, let's take a breath. You ready? Feeling good. I did some planks and push-ups. So I'm feeling like some energy. Maybe that's what I'm feeling, like some energy. Trying to get strengthened. I'm going to be starting a new job in about a month. And I want to make sure my arms are strong and I can lift, like this. I don't know. So I'm planking and I'm doing some push-ups. So I'm trying to get my shoulders and my upper body strength built up a little bit for this new job. I'm going to have to be lifting some things, probably pushing, pulling, and lifting. So I wanted to talk about something today that is, you feel like science, religion are totally separate, but in my view, they're totally the same. Like everything I learn and read in the Bible feels like it can be backed up with some scientific principle. So I want to talk about quantum science. Quantum science is the study of the invisible subatomic realm. So even smaller than atoms, the particles that make up atoms and the space between these atoms. That's quantum science. Let's see. So it's this universe that's built on mystery. Weird things are happening. Everything we think we know, everything that's separate and solid, when you look at it, it's like it's not exactly what you... When you break it down to its smallest parts, it's totally different than what you actually think it is. So, lately, there's a reason why I wanted to talk about this the next few days. When you turn on the news and scroll through your feed, it feels like this whole world is falling apart. There's a relentless stream of negativity, division, and this anxiety that's creeping in to our minds. It's easy to look around and feel like everything is so fractured. But today, I'm going to press pause on that noise. You can press pause on that noise. I'm going to wash away this heavy static and fill my mind, and hopefully fill your mind with wonder. I'm embarking on this 3-part series that explores a field of science that bridges the absolute cutting edge of human intelligence with this timeless truth that we find in the Bible. So I want to enter the world of quantum science. It's simply the study of the universe at the smallest possible scale, at the subatomic level. For centuries, classical physicists have told us that the universe is this cold, predictable, like a mechanical clock. And yeah, there's rules that govern our universe. But when science finally managed to kind of like peek behind the curtain and observe the smallest particles of matter, that whole like clockwork mentality was challenged. They found a realm of light, and that's what really gets me. Like the Bible talks so much about the light and energy. It defies human logic. And I want to look at today, I just want to look at the basics of this invisible architecture and see how maybe we can have instead of all that noise and static going on in our brain, we can have this message of hope and purpose, and realize that we are all divinely designed. So, to understand the quantum world, we have to look at the building blocks of matter. Our everyday macro world is always in one specific place, like that cup. This cup is this cup. Guess what? Tomorrow this is going to be this cup also. In fact, as soon as this cup was made, it's going to be staying a cup until it's not a cup anymore. It's like, and that lamp is going to be a lamp, So, but at the quantum level, these particles, like electrons, they behave in a way that shocked the scientific community. A particle can act in two different ways, and it's called the wave-particle duality. Under certain conditions, an electron behaves like a solid physical particle. Like, say it's like this tiny little pool ball, this electron. But under other conditions, it behaves like an actual wave of potential that spreads out across a space. And the thing is, the dual wave particle, or the wave particle duality, is that it can have both of those characteristics at the same time. So there's also something called the observer effect, where in these famous experiments, scientists discovered that as long as a quantum particle is unobserved, it behaves like that wave of potential. But the precise moment that a conscious observer views this particle, the wave collapses into a solid, localized physical particle, like that, like the physical of that dual nature, as soon as it's observed, and it starts acting like a particle. The act of looking at something changes the reality of it, and the universe at its core is not made of cold, hard, isolated lumps of matter. It's made of this dynamic energy and light that is fundamentally responsive. It's fluid, and it's kind of just waiting for interaction. Does that sound amazing? I mean, the thing is, this observer effect, I don't know if I'm going to get into it, but they did this dual slit. So like, say you have a screen further away from you, and you have a screen closer to you, and in this screen has two slits in it. So if you're looking away, you're not observing, and the particles are moving through that first screen onto the second screen, it'll show like different groupings and a more scattered dispersion of these particles, like land on that second screen. But as soon as you're watching or you're measuring, the particles will go through and land on two specific spots through those two slits. So it's exhibiting particle properties instead of like wave properties. Or disbursement is different as soon as you're observing a particle. Freaking me out. What? As soon as I read that, I was like, that's so crazy to me. Like, it's weird. As soon as a human, or even, I think it was a digital device or some sort of monitoring device. It wasn't actually active human attention on the thing, I don't believe. It behaved differently. So crazy. So this scientific reality offers a profound psychological shift for us to navigate this negative world. That's what I'm trying to get away from. This weekend was nuts with all the news this last week. Whew. So, get away from the negative world. Classical physics trained our minds to think materialistically. If I can't touch it or see it or measure it or count it, it isn't real. But that creates this mindset, it's like a rigid mindset which leads into scarcity and helplessness. I think it contributes to your feelings of helplessness if you're just basing your assumption on, I can't see it, I can't feel it, it doesn't exist. So, quantum science reminds us that the foundational layer of reality is actually invisible, and it has infinite possibilities. So, what looks like an empty space to the human eye is actually bursting with this unmanifested, so the potential of energy and light. So when you realize the atomic world is inherently fluid and responsive, it shifts your perspective from being helpless to a perspective of gratitude. You begin to realize that the structural blueprint of our life is not a fixed happening and based on these negative current events. You have a deeper, unseen reality that's operating beneath the surface of anything you can see. And that teaches us to stop anchoring our emotional stability on these physical things that we're observing. Instead, we can anchor ourselves to the invisible, unchanging potential that's surrounding us. So, I want to see what the Bible says, because I truly believe these two things are linked. This physical science-based human realm and the spiritual unseen, not religion, but God, creation, like the foundation of everything. I think those two things are connected. So, it's a paradox in physics where the visible world is constructed entirely by what's invisible. Everything you can see is made up of particles that are invisible. So something in the writers in the Bible understood like thousands of years before the invention of the electron microscope. In Hebrews 11:3, it says, "By faith we understand that the universe was created by the word of God, so that what is seen was not made out of things that are visible." So what is seen is made out of things that are invisible, and that's exactly what quantum science has proven to us. This literal description of quantum mechanics, every solid object you touch right now is made of 99.9999 empty space. It's held together by these vibrating force of light and energy that spoke creation into existence by the Creator. Also, Colossians 1:17, Christ says, it says about Christ, He is before all things, and in Him all things hold together. So, in Him all things hold together. So that's like these quantum bonds that I'm talking about. Old physics, they couldn't explain what keeps the universe from flying apart. But quantum science reveals this underlying quantum field that unifies and sustains everything. So Christians, we have this belief, and things unseen that are truly behind the scenes holding our life, our breath, holding the universe together. It's amazing. Holding your life together, holding your family together. So, as the architect of your own daily mindset, you have a choice. You can let your internal filter be flooded with these heavy headlines, news reports, the stress, or you can look deeper and past all that. You can choose to live with this brain full of wonder and recognize that this visible chaos is temporary, but the invisible kingdom is eternal. All right, my homework, if you want to do homework today too, it's called a quantum pause. Sometime today, I don't know, well, I might have this experience today. I'm trying to think of my schedule. When you're overwhelmed by a negative news story or a stressful moment today, see if you can just close your eyes for 60 seconds and take a deep breath. Remind yourself of the physics of what is seen is made of things that are invisible. And I'm going to thank God for this unseen field of it's His love and light and power that's holding everything together. Truly. You can let gratitude in that 60 seconds. Just be so thankful. What you're looking at, what you're dealing with, what you hear, there's something beyond it that is so changeable and is filled with hope. Oh yeah, here it is, the double slit experiment and wave duality. So, and you can look this up on YouTube. So many different videos can explain it better than I can. But yeah, that 2-screen experiment, and when I'm talking about and I'm describing big screens, but I think the actual experiment is like tiny. When you look into the actual experiment they did, when they look away or they're not observing and they just let the electrons or whatnot scatter the way they want to, it's this wave nature of the atoms or the subatomic particles. And then as soon as they're measuring it and they're like looking at it, it has its particle like a more solid state. I don't know how to explain it, like more of a predictable pattern. So the observer effect in quantum mechanics, and this is, okay, there's that wave or the dual slit experiment. Then also there's the theory behind like Schrodinger's cat, where you have a cat in a box. Like, this is a theory of thought experiment. It's not, well, I mean, really, you could stick a cat in a box, I guess. And once the cat's in that box, it can be one of two things. It could be alive or dead. And the possibility of both of those things exists until you open the box and you see it. And you're like, oh, okay, it's still alive. Then that collapses that possibility of two different things that could happen into one thing. So that's the observer effect, and I think that applies to the Schrodinger cat theory. Or, not theory, what is it? Let me pull up Schrodinger. S-C-H-O-D. If it's a theory or a thought experiment, I'm not sure. A thought experiment concerning quantum superposition. In the thought experiment, a hypothetical cat in a closed box may be considered both simultaneous alive and dead while it's unobserved, as a result of its fate being linked to random subatomic events that may or may not occur. Okay, it's described as a paradox. So thought experiment. Okay, it's not a theory, it's a thought experiment. And then there's somebody here called John Wheeler. It's a participatory universe. Let me see if I can pull that up. So John Wheeler's participatory universe concept suggests that reality is shaped by observers, meaning that consciousness plays an active role in creating the universe. This idea challenges traditional views by proposing that the act of observation influences the existence of phenomena in the universe. So if anything I said sparked a thought, leave a comment or a like. Every single day is a chance to grow and learn and become more of the wonderful person you are. The world is better with your light in it. So, thanks for spending time with me today. I will be here again tomorrow, but until then, you have a wonderful day, and remember, you're the Lord's precious ones. Bye!